Welcome back to the Gym Girl Diaries. Hey guys, my name is Des. Happy Monday. It's February 16th, President's Day, so everyone is off of school and work today, which is why I'm recording this video in the car, because today's topic is something that I want to be able to talk about without the stress and anxiety of people hearing me, because I want this to just be a conversation, me, you. It's something that I don't talk about very often just because of the amount of opening up and ideas and things I would like to share. Honestly, it kind of gets me so overwhelmed because there's so much to talk about. So today's topic is how weight loss has affected my mental health. This week we're all going to be doing videos covering this topic, and even just beginning this video, my mind is racing in a million different ways on how I want to start it, because there's positives and then there's obviously negatives, just like everything in life. But I think I want to just start it off by telling you guys how when I was 300 pounds, I was always the bright, bubbly, life of the party kind of person. I still am. But underneath all of that, there was just this deep self-hate that I was living in all the time. I did my hair, I did my makeup, I dressed as good as I could with Forever 21 Plus and Torrid. I still tried to dress as trendy as possible at my heavy weight. But when it came down to it, I was always so unhappy with myself, and I literally hated myself. And I would never say the things that I said to myself in my own head to anyone else that I know, especially someone that's struggling with their weight. I would be the hype queen, and I would say that to a friend, to a sister, to a random stranger on the internet. I would be like, no, you're not. You look gorgeous, you look beautiful. But in my own head, it was oh, that would look better on you if you weren't fat. Oh, you'd probably get that job if you weren't fat. Oh, he'd probably like you if you weren't fat. And I felt like everything in my life could be up here, but there was always just this missing step, because in my head I thought it would be here once I lost weight. Oh, it would be here if I got skinny. Everything would be perfect if I just lost weight. It bled into everything that I did, thought, would do. As crazy as it is to say out loud, I felt like my entire life was actually centered around my weight, and no one really knew that. The deep level of self-hate that I was living in was my deepest, darkest secret, and I firmly believed that my weight was holding me back from everything. So what do I do about that? I go and I finally get my weight loss surgery at 24 years old. I start this incredible weight loss journey. I am watching the scale move monthly, sometimes weekly, along the first year of my weight loss journey. Within the first year, I lost 150 pounds altogether, from my lowest. I'm not my lowest right now, but since I started my weight loss journey, there has been a total of 172 pounds lost. But right now I'm sitting at about 160 pounds lost. So watching the 150 just go down the scale for that entire first year, it gives you such a sense of I don't even know if validation's the right word. It's just this high of something you spent your entire life wishing for is finally happening. This is so embarrassing to say out loud. Every single year on my birthday, I have a twin sister. She has always been very tiny. Her name's Destiny and I'm Desiree, but they would call her Destiny, and remember that she's Destiny because it's Des Tiny. She's the tiny one. So imagine having a birthday every single year as you're standing next to your twin that no one believes that you're twins, simply because of the fact that she was less than half my size. Every year for as long as I can remember as a child, up to my 24th birthday, I would blow out the candle on my birthday cake and wish to be skinny, wish to lose weight. Every birthday wish about weight loss. That's crazy, right? Now that you know how much I wanted that, it was pretty much the only thing I've ever wanted. I really truly felt like my life would change if I lost weight. My life would be so much different if I just lost some weight. So I get the gastric bypass. I told you I'm stepping on the scale. I'm living through the high of just actually losing weight for once in my life. And there truly was no better feeling. I felt like it gave me such a boost of confidence. It also showed me what I was capable of, because I didn't just get surgery and let it do its thing. I hit the gym and I hit hit the gym hard and consistently. I was meal prepping. This is all stuff I was doing even before getting gastric bypass, but because of my hypothyroid disease, that kind of lifestyle still didn't make me lose weight. But because it was already instilled into like my daily routine, having the weight loss surgery on top of that just really skyrocketed everything. You hear stories from people all the time who have had weight loss surgery and they gain all the weight back, or they didn't really lose that much, and it's because weight loss surgery can only do so much. You're gonna get out of it whatever you put in. So I was hitting the gym, I was meal prepping, I followed every single rule. I looked at it like this was my shot, this was my opportunity. Cue the Eminem song. Got one shot, one opportunity. Sorry, okay. Mom spaghetti. Yeah, I was like, this is like my one shot and my one opportunity to make this happen. I have tried everything else under the sun and it didn't work. The surgery, going to this big of an extreme, cutting part of my body, if this doesn't work, I mean, it wasn't going to be good. It wasn't going to be good, I'll tell you that. I applied myself the best way that I could and it worked. I was living in this high of weight loss, and if you could understand how much that meant to me because of the amount of years that I spent wishing for this, because of the amount of wishes I blew out on every cake for this, for every shooting star, for every 11/11, that was my wish and I'm finally living it. Oh my gosh, like I was on top of the world until the moments that I wasn't. I'd say that it was within my first year of my weight loss journey, but especially the second year of my weight loss journey, once things do slow down and you're getting closer to that maintenance weight, you're not watching the scale move every week. You might not even watch it move every month. Things are slowing down, your body is creating a maintenance mode. That exciting high of stepping on the scale and watching the numbers go down, it does go away. And as you are easing into your new life and your new body, exploring things in your new body for the first time, I mean, the list goes on. But I always thought that X, Y, and Z would never happen if I was skinny. And guess what? All of those things still happened in my skinny life. Like, I didn't just lose weight and never have any issues again. I did get broken up with. I did miss out on opportunities and automatically go to comparing myself to other people because I thought, oh, if I was more like this person, then I would have gotten it. What it is comparison truly is the thief of joy. And I have struggled with that, having 4 sisters who have all always been walking Barbie dolls my entire life. It's something that I've improved immensely on, thank God, because what comparing does to our hearts and our mind along your weight loss journey, along your self-love journey, along life period, the spiral that it just sends you in, it's not productive. It's not productive for any of our self-love journey that we're on. And that's something that I have to constantly remind myself and that I've learned over and over again the hard way. I worked so hard to get out of that dark, negative mindset that I constantly lived in. Being on the other side, years later, after doing this, when I catch myself having those negative self-talk moments and saying certain things to myself, I'm like, whoa. It is like the biggest backpedal feeling I have ever felt. I do usually catch it right away because it doesn't even feel natural to talk like that to myself anymore. I have to just like recognize it right then and there and be like, whoa, we don't talk like that. We have grown so much self-love since then. The takeaway is that weight loss doesn't just take away all your problems. You still have all your problems and you will still struggle with comparison and you will still struggle with wondering X, Y, and Z, and maybe at the end of the day, your weight isn't the only thing that's stopping you from doing this, that, and the other. You know what I mean? That's kind of a hard thing for me to explain. It's been one of the biggest things that I've had to learn along my journey because I didn't lose 160 pounds and like gain this perfect life. No one's perfect. There's no such thing as perfect. And there is always so much room to grow and learn and to just like get better. The sooner you kind of realize that, the better mentally that you will be. Now, kind of segueing into like the next thing I want to say is I probably could have really benefited from going to therapy years ago when I was at my heaviest, when I was allowing my weight to change my daily life. I was having a hard time working. I was having a hard time going out. I would get ready, fully dolled up, hair and makeup done, cute outfit, look in the mirror, and then just burst into tears and then like tell my friends that I didn't want to go out anymore. I was feeling kind of sick, and it was just like the fear of, oh, so what, I'm gonna go downtown and run into a bunch of people from high school so they could see the 100+ pounds I've gained since high school. No. So I would just come up with some sort of excuse, even though like I felt like I looked so great. I would just have these moments where I'd look in the mirror and be like, I look great and I feel pretty good, but what are people gonna think when they see me? And I cared so much about what people thought about with my weight that it would stop me from doing things like hanging out with my girlfriends on a Friday night going downtown at like 23 years old, which is exactly what you should be doing at that age. So I feel like it could have been really awesome to start therapy at a much earlier stage of my life, but I didn't start therapy until about, has it been 2 years now? About 2 years ago. I actually just had this huge insurance switch, so I got a new doctor in December, and I finally get to meet my new therapist, psychiatrist, on Tuesday, March 6th. So I will be restarting therapy with a new therapist. I'm so bummed that I don't get to see my old therapist. I mean, I've gone through 2 at this point, so this will be my 3rd one, but the one before that, I didn't really have a lot of progress, I felt, because there was just like, I would explain, even when it comes down to like what I do online for working on social media, and she didn't even really know what social media was. When that's one of the biggest parts of your life, it was a little bit hard for her to understand certain things, especially when I'm like, social media is the reason for a lot of this stuff. It was really awesome when I had a new therapist, and she was much younger, and oh my gosh, the way I could just talk to her like she has known me for 20 years. I loved her so much, and she really inspired me to continue along my therapy journey. I'm such an open book and I'm an oversharer, but when it comes to my problems, I've always had this thing in my life where I think it's like also part of being youngest of 6 and being raised by a single mom who literally just needs help. All I've ever tried to do was make sure that my problems and my issues are non-existent or the least of anybody's worries. Don't worry about me. I'm not even worried about my stuff. Let me just stay busy and do this to help you out. Let me help this person here. Let me just stay busy pouring into everyone. That was something that we like really uncovered. I was featured on this other podcast where we talked about this, and I realized also after posting that video on Instagram, the comment section was going crazy, and it seems like there is this common phenomenon that goes on with big girls, right? When I was big, and I can't even really start it off as when I was big because this is who I am still, but we as big girls feel like we have to overcompensate. A lot of times because of your heavy weight, you feel like you need to make up for it. So we'll have really amazing hair. We'll have really amazing makeup. We'll make sure our boobs are out because we're at least showing off this asset, or like make sure like these pants make our booty look good so that we're like distracting from the belly. There's a lot of overcompensating that happens. For me, there was even overcompensating in my personality. I loved being the friend that would make my friends laugh until they pee their pants. I would do the most outrageous things in public, whatever, to make people crack up. And I realize this now later, but if I could at least make sure that I was like funny, just life of the party, oh, she's a hoot, I know I'll get invited back because, well, I'm such a great time. They wouldn't want to do this without me. There was a lot of overcompensating in lots of areas in my life. And even when it came to relationships, when it came to intimacy, there was a lot of overcompensating in my past relationships, even in my current one. I feel like this is just a part of me that hasn't changed, but it goes back to just being the big girl who felt like the need to overcompensate. When I was in relationships, I will do anything for the man I'm with. I will cook, I will clean, I will do all the wifey stuff. The intimacy, I might not be into something like that, but we're gonna make sure that my man is satisfied, so I might be doing stuff I wasn't exactly comfortable with, all to keep a man or to try to get a man, right? There was just so much overcompensating. It's funny to be on the other side and realize something I do need to work on, and this is from my therapist, I'm sharing this with you guys, is to not feel like I have to work and produce just to get love or something in return. There's a better way to explain it. How do you explain it? I shouldn't have to overperform just to be validated, just to be accepted, just to be loved. It's something I've always done from my childhood and in every relationship, in every job job that I've done. I should be able to feel valued, loved, and accepted and perfectly fine the way I am. That is something that I wish I could have worked on years ago. Childhood vibes. Something that I'm still working on. So you don't just like lose like 160 pounds and then be like, wow, I am completely perfect and valuable and worthy. And it takes actual intentional mental work that you have to work on through your actions and your day-to-day life and activities to improve on. So that's where I've been at, and that's where I'm still at. It's something I'm continuously working on. The next thing I can say about how my mental health has been affected along my weight loss journey is that it has helped me find a newfound confidence. Like I said, it's a freaking roller coaster sometimes. Actually, a lot of times it's a roller coaster, especially when you are going through things like regain. To give you my own situation, imagine this. You spend your entire life wishing for this moment, wishing for any body other than your own. Then you start your weight loss journey and you're like, oh my gosh, I can't believe this is real life. It's a lot to accept. You go through body dysmorphia. I will still go to stores, pick out clothes, go to the fitting room, and have to take all 6 items that I grabbed and get a different size, because when I held it up, I've thought this is my size, and it's like, maybe you're not a large, maybe you are a medium or a small. It's weird. It's something that I'm still getting used to, but the body dysmorphia is such a real thing. And then you start sharing your journey online on social media to the public, to people you do not know. And as hard as it was at first to post the pictures that I never wanted a single person to see, I'm talking the ones where I am 300 pounds, the underwear is rolled down, exposing full belly, and I couldn't even bring myself in those moments to take pictures that weren't covering my face because I was so ashamed at what I saw in the mirror. But everyone said, Des, you're going to want to document your journey. You need to take a before photo. And guess what? I wish I would have taken more that showed my body. I was so ashamed, and there was nothing that would set me in a faster spiral than taking a picture of myself basically naked in a mirror. It was the most uncomfortable thing I had really put myself through. And then I started finding the courage to share some of those pictures. Some of them did not appear on my Instagram until 3 or 4 years into my journey, because I was like, dang, this is a lot to show. But like, I decided to share my most vulnerable moments online and to share my weight loss journey. And building a community online gave me such a sense of purpose that I had never found through anything else. I loved being able to chat in the DMs with other women who were along the same journey as me. I loved being able to make friends who had the exact same surgery, who lived across the United States from me but had my exact same height, the same surgery I got. We were sharing recipes, transformation pictures, be like, oh my gosh, girl, I just got these jeans and it really helps hide the loose skin. You have to go get them. There was no greater feeling than just finding like sisterhood through the community that I built online by sharing those vulnerable moments. I have always had the heart to serve people. That's why I went through ultrasound school. I wanted to be in the medical field, especially be a part of women's pregnancy journeys and just be a part of something selfishly that was so special. And as I was in ultrasound school is when I started my weight loss journey, and my life changed very quickly. I'm thinking one day I'm going to be working in a hospital. I had a couple of businesses within the wedding industry. I did like calligraphy. I did day of planning and coordinating. I worked at a bridal gown shop helping girls pick out their wedding dress, say yes to the dress. I loved the wedding industry, and I love big moments, and I love celebratory things like having babies and women getting married. Put me in. I want to help make this fun and special. That's always been who I am, and that's why I was in the fields that I was in. And then I start sharing online, and it was just crazy that the thing that I struggled my entire life with, the thing that I felt like nobody else would ever possibly be able to understand, well, it turns out that there's a lot of girls who understand. And when you find those people, the amount of like relief and just like connection, it was like nothing I had ever experienced before. So I continue sharing on social media, and along my weight loss journey there have been so many different chapters: going to get plastic surgery, going into competing in bodybuilding shows, going through regain. There has been lots of ups and downs, but as you can see, my life quickly became my weight loss journey. So what I kind of had to navigate, and what I'm still navigating, I still have my moments, is navigating the fact that my weight loss journey was now my new thing. It was like a new validation. And if I wasn't losing weight, then what was I doing? There were people watching me. There were people calling out anytime I was up 5 pounds. Oh, if I was eating something off track. One time I was even on a trip with a weight loss community trip, and someone took a video of me eating a couple hot Cheetos because we were out drinking, and like grabbed a couple of chips. But someone was like, oh look, woke up like Des cheats. And I was like, oh my gosh. Feeling like now my life is weight loss. Trying to also get across to people the fact that I am so much more than 150 pounds down. I am so much more than a transformation picture. There's a lot of things that I love. There's a lot of hobbies and activities that I do. I'm a Capricorn. I've always been a little entrepreneur and very goal oriented. If there's one thing I've ever done, it's learn how to make my hobbies into little hustles, and I'm always trying my hand at something new and just like creating things. And some of that stuff is stuff that people will never see online because it's like, well, I have a weight loss page. People probably don't care about this. And I have been told that plenty of times. So what's hard to navigate is recognizing that you are so much more than the weight you've lost. What makes those feelings even harder is when you are going through a season of regain and you're getting daily comments about how much weight you've gained. Oh, woke up like Des has gained all her weight back. Like, I gained 50, 60 pounds. I didn't get back up to 300 pounds. It's not like I completely let myself go, but like those type of comments, you read it, you hear it one time, and it's there. It's not going to go anywhere, at least for me. I don't have the thickest skin sometimes, and I think that doing stuff online like this, it does require a very thick skin, and that's something that I need to develop a lot more. But sometimes the softy, little sensitive me just doesn't do too well with it, especially in my season of 60 pounds regain, October through December, a little over a year ago. That was one of the most depressive times of my life, and it was really hard for me to show up online because of the amount of negative comments that I was getting all about my weight. And it was like, I've been open about it. It's not like I was trying to hide it. I keep mentioning the fact that I'm working on tackling my regain, but then people are having conversations with each other in the comments about how terrible I look and how they were waiting for Dez's downfall. I didn't handle it very well. And I'm sure some people that it would literally not even faze them, but I'm just not built that way. I'm such a lover girl. I'm a hype woman. I'm everyone's biggest cheerleader. And it's not like I expect everyone to be my biggest cheerleader, but knowing that that's what I put out into the world, that's the kind of energy I'm working with on a daily basis. When I get something like that in return, it crushes me. I mean, like, it actually crushes me. It sends me down a spiral, and I wish it didn't have that much of an effect on me, but those types of things will send me off of Instagram for a good week. That's just me being honest. I wish I could tell you that I was just bulletproof, but I'm so not. And I could get pretty sensitive, and I think it's just because no one will ever understand the amount of work, physical work, the amount of mental work that goes into having a weight loss journey, and maintaining everything is a whole other thing. I have to put in a lot of work to maintain the weight that I'm comfortable and happiest at. It's never going to be something that's just easy for me just because I had a surgery. Oh, if I'm out of the gym for even a week, it starts to show. If I start making poor decisions in my diet, it's gonna show. I have to put in an extra amount of work just to maintain. And I've accepted that. It's fine. I gotta just stay working. I gotta keep finding things that will keep me motivated. I have to choose which things I'm gonna be working on. Now we're gonna be building some shoulders. Let's get stronger arms. Let's build a booty. I create next things to focus on, so that way I am continuing to stay motivated throughout the gym. And as you can see, I do struggle talking about this because I don't even really know how to explain it. And there's just like a million thoughts that come to mind, and it's clearly something that I'm still working on. So the takeaway with that one is that you have to remind yourself that you are so much more than the number on the scale. You have to remind yourself that you are so much more than the amount of weight that you've lost. You as a person, the number has nothing to do with it. You are a whole person with or without that scale, with or without weight loss, with or without any of those numbers. You have to remind yourself who you are to your core. You have to remind yourself of the type of friend you are, the type of sister you are, the type of girlfriend or wife or mother you are. Those are the things that actually make us who we are. Our characteristics, the light that we bring into a room, the positivity that we bring to a friend. All of that is what makes me me. And when I remind myself of those things, I do realize that none of those are even related to a number on the scale. Weight loss and mental health absolutely do go hand in hand. A weight loss journey, like I said in my very first video, is way more of a self-love journey. It's constantly working on your mindset. It's constantly working on speaking positively to yourself after spending a lifetime doing the opposite. And it's about literally what feels like pulling yourself out of those depths of that deep darkness that you were living in, that self-hate. Like, if I have a visual to it, because I'm a visual person, it's like I was like in this underground hole and I'm using all of my upper body strength to pull myself out of this depth of a dark hole that I was living in. It sounds dramatic because it is dramatic, but for me, that has been the biggest part of my weight loss journey, is just recognizing the dark and deep level of self-hate that I was living in and doing whatever I can to get out of it and stay out of it. I know this was a really long video and there's actually so much more I could probably keep talking about, but I'm gonna cut it here so I don't bore you because I care about what you think. But thank you guys for allowing me some space to just kind of chit chat. I am excited to be restarting therapy. As you are probably thinking, like, Des needs it. I know I need it. It's okay. We can talk about it. I'm an open book. I need therapy and I'm excited to get back into it because I know now it's not about a number on the scale. It's about the self-love that you have for yourself. Self-love is what gives you confidence. Self-love is what gives you even the confidence to do certain things, to wear certain things, to be certain things. It's what makes you able to take a step forward in every single aspect of your life. So if you're on a journey too and struggling with any of these same things, I hope this video helps you feel seen. What I hope that you guys gain from watching our videos here on the Gym Girl Diaries is just recognizing that you guys are not alone on your journey. All of these things that make you feel so alone and like make you feel all that self-doubt and the comparison, we all freaking go through it and we all navigate it in different ways, and some of us have conquered them, some of us are still working on it. Either way, we are all working on self-improvement and working on self-love, and that's what this journey is all about. So thank you guys so much for tuning in and watching this video, and if you made it this far, thank you, I love you. And I'm so excited for you guys to catch up on the rest of this week's videos, and I will see you next Monday.